So,
12 minutes starting now.
all right. So, I talked a little bit briefly about the round table with the executives in Hollywood. I might add the clip to here, and you'll get a chance to see it after this interview. But what I want to talk about is um, Netflix made a comment to the head of Disney. The two executives were speaking, and he said that we don't have the same luxury that you guys have at Disney, but you guys sitting on so much IP. You guys have, first of all, you have all that IP by yourself, and now you have Marvel's IP
And Star Wars.
and Star Wars. The list just goes on. So you guys have an infinite amount of pretty much bangers for like the box office. You have an infinite amount of blockbusters, and they call them event films. You have an endless amount of event films. Netflix is pretty much operating as a brand new studio. And it's also part of the reason why they're keeping their stance during the writer's strike, because Netflix is just now profiting. And so all of them are on different business models, so that's a whole nother conversation.
For sure.
But the big thing I wanted to get at is how, what's your reason? Why do you think that Disney is so successful with IP? And you had a question about Disney growing IP even today.
Yeah, me and Chad were talking about this, and I referenced what the guy was saying, how, you guys are just sitting on top of all this IP. And it's the incredible thing with Disney is that they took stories that have been told for thousands of years and basically kidfied them, like turn them into children's stories, like Cinderella. Cinderella, if you read the Brothers Grimm, it's a lot more darker than the Cinderella that you see in the movie.
Yeah.
Same with Beauty and the Beast. Same with many other ones as well. But not only that, they also create their own original IP in the form of Pixar and some Disney animation movies like Frozen and Princess and the Frog. I don't know, Princess and the Frog, that might be a story that's been told for thousands of years, so correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But it just amazes me how Disney is able to not only from their more earlier days take IP and spin them into kid stories. They're able to create their own IP in the form of Toy Story, Incredibles, Cars, Inside Out, the list goes on and on. So it's incredible, right? So I look at them and I look at someone like Netflix. Netflix, a lot of their movies are hit and miss.
Right.
Their TV shows are really good.
Yeah.
But a lot of their movies are hit and miss.
Yeah.
And now lately, some of their TV shows have been hit and miss.
Yeah.
Same with Amazon Studios.
Yeah.
Same with all these other companies. Maybe Disney just has an advantage that they've just been in the game longer.
That's a huge part of it.
And they are geared more towards families.
But I get at that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Chad's already got that answer unlocked.
Yeah. So I want to talk about why Marvel is more successful than DC when it comes to the cinematic universe. I want to talk about why Disney's IP is so successful and how they were able to even acquire Pixar, which also has a successful body of work with their animation. And it can seem like they have the magic touch, but the magic touch is kind of there in writing. The difference between the success of Disney versus Warner Brothers or Netflix comes down to mission statement. And it's a weird way to tackle this, but it comes down to their mission statement. It's the same way how rated, movies that are PG outperform movies that are rated R.
Yep.
And it's been that way. And anyone who's seen numbers can tell you the highest grossing film of this year is still Super Mario, right? Even though it's not Disney, its idea is as PG. And so what I'm trying to get at is the mission statement is what allowed Marvel to dominate DC. They wanted to make humanity better throughout their projects. No matter where the story went, we want to make humanity better after watching what we create. Same with Star Wars. There's a bit of hope there. They want you to make humanity better. Even though it's an ambitious space opera, it's still more about the good overcoming the evil, right? And something about that mission statement of having a positive outturn from your product does you very well. I'm gonna stray away from Disney. I'm gonna go to Sony with this new film, Spider-Verse. Even though a lot of things happen to him, there's still this heroic element to Miles Morales. There's still this idea that any of us can be behind the mask, it still has the soul of what Spider-Man was based off of, which comes back down to what I call the mission statement. Your mission statement makes everyone's job position. People don't have job titles. They have journeys. Like he said, I don't give people job descriptions. Yeah, I can't remember how he said it, but some man said this when he gets a business. So I don't give people job descriptions, I give them journey descriptions, or I give them journeys. What he means by that is, you guys can take it whatever way you want to go, but it has to impact. As long as it's a positive, as long as it's an impact in this way, then this is your project just as much as it's mine. And Disney's been able to do that, where DC has not been able to do that. Netflix may have done it with Stranger Things to some degree, but for the most part has not been able to do it with everything.
Right.
And that's why I think Disney is so successful, because they've mastered the mission statement.
Like their own mission statement.
Their own mission statement, and I noticed the company has a better mission statement, seems to outperform in the long run.
For sure.
Like, look where McDonald's is at right now, and look where Chick-fil-A is at. It's coming down to their mission statement. Right? McDonald's has veered away from what they started for.
That's
right?
true.
The McDonald's that started out there, and the name just escaped me, but it's right out here in California, San Bernardino. The first McDonald's started in San Bernardino, it's not the same McDonald's that Ray Kroc got everywhere. And it's not even the same McDonald's that we grew up with, the McDonald's that stands there today.
Way different.
And that's what happens when money becomes the objective, is you veer away from the mission. And Disney has found a way to stay close to their mission throughout all of this. If not stay closer, they got even closer to it as the years progressed. And that's why they outperform DC. That's why you have the Snyderverse and you have the Guns universe, because that element of love is now having to be put back in there to make things work.
If I give, speaking of which, you brought up something very important when we did the podcast on having love in the art. And that's what makes it, that's the foundation of art. I want to extend on that point today by saying that Kevin Feige, the person who controls Marvel, loves Marvel Comics. He also loves DC Comics as well. But he grew up on Marvel Comics and DC Comics, so he knows his heroes inside and out. His favorite superhero is Superman. He loves comics. The problem why DC hasn't been able to capture the same magic that Marvel has, for one, is very hard to do. But for two, the reason why they say that Marvel doesn't have DC doesn't have a Kevin Feige, that people are thinking about his business acumen and everything, but no, it's deeper than that.
You're right.
They don't have someone who knows DC Comics, who knows DC heroes. I know DC. I'm not trying to advertise myself as a producer or executive producer of anything, but thanks to my mom, shout out to you, Mom, I grew up on DC. I grew up reading a lot of DC comics. That's why I love DC so much. That's why I know everyone loves Spider-Man, Batman. That's my guy, because I grew up on Batman the most out of everyone. So when you have someone like that who is passionate about the IP, who's passionate about the art and bring this to life, you're gonna get something like Marvel. And what else? Another thing that people don't realize is that Kevin Feige was responsible for the original X-Men. Yeah. When the X-Men were popular back in 2000, 2002, 2003 with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Wow.
And how that was very successful. You know what I mean? Because he has a love for comic book heroes, while as Warner Brothers does not have that. And again, like Chad said, that goes back to mission statement. And it goes back to also the love of the art.
Absolutely. It has to be deeper than the balance book.
Exactly. And I feel like DC is more about the balance book. And I don't know James Gunn. I don't know if he grew up on DC Comics. I don't know. I don't know if he knows DC heroes. I have no clue. I pray that he does, and I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah,
but
he does.
When you hear about Kevin Feige and just about how he loves comic book,
you can see it, you can feel it.
Exactly, and you can so much more feel it than anything.
Yeah.
And I haven't really watched James Gunn talk about DC heroes or anything, but I do give James Gunn credit. He knows that Superman is the most important DC hero. He knows that he's the first ever superhero ever created in comic book history. So I know that he's trying to at least bring that to life himself. So I do give him credit for that.
Now let's talk about the births of franchises. I want to get to that. It's very difficult to birth a franchise. If people could do it, that's why novelists are so successful. Because if you're writing a novel that's 75,000 words, you're in love with it. There's no question about it. No one's sitting there typing 400 pages of something that they're not going to fall in love with. Even if you're not in love with it by page 80, you're going to be in love with it by page 160.
For sure.
And that's just what happens. And that's why they convert to film so well. That's why Hunger Games was so successful. But let's get past the whole book part of it and go to the actual IP itself. To birth the franchise is extremely difficult because it's not about the balanced book. It is about a love for it. Yes, you cannot separate the art from the financial part of the film industry because those things are one and the same. Those things do intertwine. It's a two-component industry. But look at what James Cameron has done. He birthed a franchise in the 21st century. He's birthed Avatar is something that's going to be rebooted. Avatar is something that's going to hold value 20 years from now. I'm not a crazy fan of Avatar. I need to watch it again, really get into it. But box office shows that he has birthed a franchise.
Yeah, he's birthed two of them. Terminator 2.
Terminator, yeah, Terminator was massively successful. Just the reboot didn't do too well.
No, I was just talking about the original. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
first two.
Yeah.
I'd say he birthed two franchises. The first two did well. I don't know about the other one.
Yeah,
but
I'm sticking to Avatar for this argument. But James Cameron already knows he's that guy when it comes to the film industry. He's done it. But you get my point with this. It's hard to birth a franchise. And if you hear how crazy obsessed he is with Avatar, it makes us want to see what it's about, or it makes us love it as well.
Or what's next.
Based off his passion about it, right? And same goes for J.K. Rowling when she, I got her name right?
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah.
Yeah, when she wrote Harry Potter. Right? I have not read a single Harry Potter book. I have not seen a Harry Potter film. And there's going to be people in the audience who are going to kill me for both. But that's how passionate you guys are about it. And that's how passionate she was about it. And of course, I've heard of it, right? No one on this planet hasn't. But that having to do with her sitting with this character for 400 pages and having to fall in love with it. You know, I recommend, even if you're going to write a screenplay, write a book. Even if you don't even sell the book or share the book, write it so you know what the screenplay is about.
Right.
You know, because that's going to make you have that aspect to it that you can build an Avatar. You know, Avatar maybe never been a book, but they can build an Avatar. You can build a Harry Potter. You can build an actual franchise. And I know it's not for everyone. Writing something lengthy is going to take you
a
lot of time, and also it's going to take. They say if you're a reader, you're halfway there, and not too many people know where to start with novels, and that's okay too. But I will tell you, your chance of having a franchise a lot greater.
And I also do believe with books, you are limited. Mm-hmm. You can only do so. You can only tell that story in that book or in those books. And then once you're done with that book, it's like, how do you keep making money from that franchise? Like, how do you keep making money from that franchise to keep that franchise alive? Mm-hmm. Which is why Harry Potter right now, I mean, the ones with The Secrets of Dumbledore, I know those didn't do well, but that's why they're rebooting the franchise and turning it into an HBO Max TV show. But in my opinion, with comic books, you can do a lot more because there's infinite amount of comic books for DC and Marvel. Like, they have an infinite amount of resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Or even some of the smaller comic books like The Boys.
Yeah.
The Boys are so popular that they literally just took what the IP was and they're putting their own spin on it, where they can pull from the source material. They can come up with their own stuff at the same time, and no one's going to be upset because not a lot of people read The Boys. And plus, there's an argument that the TV show is better than.
That's what I heard. The source material.
Right.
The source material.
So, but I say that to say, I feel like with novels, while I do agree that if you do want to be a screenwriter, you should write a novel because it does make you a better writer. I feel like with a novel, they're only limited to that story that they can tell.
Right. And it's true. Like Hunger Games, it grossed $3 billion, right? Mm-hmm. Harry Potter, I don't even know how much it grossed.
A lot.
I know J.K. Rowling is worth $1 billion by herself, right?
7, 8 movies, bro. That's insane.
So I don't think she did too bad from writing a book, you know. But I do know a lot of screenwriters have never got their stuff made by a studio, and you know, so. It's not for everyone. Not everyone's going to be able to write well in general. Like, let's just keep it real. It's a skill that you have to craft, you have to get better at. Not everyone's going to be able to write well in general. Not everyone's going to be able to make IP in general. Let's be real. But I believe that we have intelligent listeners, and I have a lot of faith in our listeners. And so, if you want to go out and do it, this is just know that's what we're looking at doing. For me, my latest project, the one you guys will be seeing, is both a graphic novel made by the team who made Umbrella Academy, and it's also a novel for those who want to go into depth with the character. But I do think both are important. I think a synopsis on the character, which is a comic book, gives people free range to take it in any direction they want to, which is like open source, and a book kind of makes it more defined. But at least you have the option of both, whether I'm here or I'm gone. This is Black Hollywood, guys, and just go out and create something. It could be a music video, it can be an interview like this. Just create something. We're proud of you. We believe in you. And this is Black Hollywood, and we will see you. Where will we see you on that?
Hey, man. We'll see you guys at the top.
We'll see you at the top. This is Black Hollywood, guys. We're out.